Okay, we are now recording. I'm so sorry. I wanted to record you guys. So you might have to go through and introduce yourself again. So at the bottom of your screen, I just want to make sure that you can see this. There's a little icon that says chat. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Perfect. So what's going to happen is if you have a question, let's say we're doing something and there's lots of things happening, that is a great way for you to get in touch with everyone or just with one person or with me. So if you're looking over at the side, when you're looking at the little chat, it's going to say to, and if you click on that button, it'll say to everyone, to Dina, to Casa, to Lillian, to me. You can ask questions. That is something that's great to be doing during the webinar, especially if you have something that you want to be asked, but you don't want to interrupt, or I can't see you, or we're on a screen share and I don't even know. This is one way that I will always know. So if you will look at that, so you can see I wrote already on it. Can everyone see that? I wrote on there.
No. On the chat, you mean?
Uh-huh. So did you click on the icon?
Stephanie, I clicked on the icon and I don't see your chat there. Did you just do it to one person, an individual?
Nope, I did to everyone.
You said, hello, everyone. We're so glad you're here.
Yes. Perfect. Okay, Lillian sees it. You see it. Casa, do you see that?
I'm adjusting things. I see from Lillian. It's fine.
Perfect. Okay. As long as you can see from Lillian. Okay. So this is something that is really great, and you'll get my attention because it's always on. So it'll always be on my screen. Okay. So what's going to happen is I'm going to now share screen, and these are PowerPoints that we're going to share, and then we're going to go over. If at any time you go, whoa, I want that PowerPoint, we will send them to you. Also, all of our recordings, after it is recorded, you will then get a link on your email. That link will take you to a YouTube page where all those videos are private, meaning if you wanted to share them, you wouldn't be able to. You won't be able to share. And the only reason why we're doing that is because you guys are on. And so I don't have your permission to share you, so it has to stay private. That being said, then you can go back and you can look at anything you want to, or you can listen or whatever you want to do, all right? But if you say, I really like these PowerPoints, I would like them, please email me, text me, or call me, and I will send them to you. Okay, so that being said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute everyone, and then I'm going to share screen. So now everyone is muted. And then I will share my screen. So please give me a thumbs up. Can you see the screen? Perfect. Okay. Here we go. All right. So welcome to the enrollment process. Mike and I, we are so excited to have you here. And we are lucky because every once in a while we'll get my husband. So that'll be great. This morning, unfortunately, we were going to get him, and he was just called out on a, he's a paramedic. And so he's called out on an emergency. So hopefully we'll get him before the end of the hour. That's what we're both hoping. But anyway, we are so excited to have you here. So again, if at any time you have any questions during this, especially since you're muted, please type in the chat box. And I saw that somebody else is on, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Okay, so anyway, welcome. We're so excited to have you. And before we get started, I just want to thank Zoom for this incredible technology. Can you believe that we are all in different areas of the world, and yet we're all together? I love that. I love technology. So first of all, thank you to Zoom for having something so incredible as this. And then I also want to thank you for showing up and being a part of this. Okay, so why are we doing this? So I'm just going to give you a little bit of background so that you know why we're doing this, because a lot of times people will ask, why are you doing this? And I think it's really important that you guys know. And so I told you my course story during our class last Friday. And so I'm going to just really quickly go over that. And if you remember my course story, it was basically that I was very shy. I'm 5 years old, and I don't want to be on this earth. I am so shy, I put my head under my mom's skirt. And literally for the full year of kindergarten, she has to be with me. And she cannot leave. And I don't ever take my head out of her skirt, to the point where she and my dad got really nervous and like, what are we going to do? And a friend of my mom's gave her a suggestion, actually, why don't you just put her in dance? And my mom was just like, are you nuts? Here we go again. But my mom said there was something inside of her that said, maybe we should put her in dance. And so remember, I'm 5. I don't feel like I'm supposed to be on this earth, and I don't feel like I belong. And I'm only 5. And my mom puts me in dance, and there was something about that dance that took me. And it was almost as if I felt heaven here on this earth. And it was the first time I felt protected. It was the first time I felt loved. And it was the first time where I felt maybe here on this earth, I could do something. And so I worked because I loved what I did. And so if I was in one group, I would practice all the time, and I would get really good just to get into the next group, because that's how it was. That's how you would up level. And so by the time that year was up and it was time for performance, I was in one of the highest levels. And I knew that I could take to that stage and I could own it. And I remember before I went on stage, my dad told me, you know, Steph, this is a present. It's a gift that you've been given. And if you want, you can give it to everybody that's in that audience, or you can keep it to yourself, but it's up to you. And I remember that exact moment where I said, I'm giving it away. And so I went on the stage and I owned it. And I took a step forward above everybody else, and I danced and I gave that away. And I felt so much at home on that stage that I looked for my dad in the audience, and when I found him, I winked at him, and he winked back, and that became our mantra. We always would find each other and wink. And I'm like, yes, and I'm feeling on top of the world, and I'm feeling like this is where I belong. And as I'm walking off stage, this lady, so she's the one helping all the students come off the stage. So this lady, she's standing there, and she bends down, and she looks at me. And what I hear is this: don't you ever think you can be better than my daughter. And how dare you show off like that? And in that moment, I felt ashamed and embarrassed for what I had just done. And in that moment, I decided I will only do a little bit that's a little bit better than anybody else, so no one will judge or criticize me. And literally for 47 years, that's how I lived my life. I would only do a little bit, never anything more. And so what happened was, we get on this beautiful journey of doTERRA. And of course, as you guys know, it's all about personal growth. And I noticed a couple of things. I noticed, 1, that I wasn't enrolled. And I noticed 2, I was tired of being a hunter. And a hunter to me is basically, in this business, if you breathed, I was going to find you, hunt you down, and enroll you into the doTERRA business. And it wasn't fun. And I didn't like it. But there were a couple of things that I did like, and I loved the personal development, and I loved the growth that I was seeing in me. But it wasn't until my husband and I, we decided that we were going to invest, and we invested over $100,000 in a mentor. And as he took us on this incredible journey, we found out, and I'm going to use me because Mike's not here, but I found out that I was only 53% enrolled in my life. And I wanted to see what it would look like for the other 47. I wanted to be enrolled 100%. So I started on this journey. And so why are we doing this? We're doing this because we noticed that when we were enrolled 100%, the results we wanted the whole entire time we had been in doTERRA, we received in less than 3 months. So how many of you want to receive the results that you've been saying, that's what I want. I want to live my ideal lifestyle. Do you want that? Yeah. Then guess what? You're enrolled in the right class, because here we go. Okay, so as we're going through this slideshow, I'm going to just let you know my intent. And as we go through this slideshow, because you're going to see some patterns every single time that help me stay enrolled, that will also help you stay enrolled. And the first thing is, if whatever you do, you have an intent, if you know the purpose behind what you're doing, you will always be enrolled in your life. So our intent for this class and for you is to, one, enroll you 100% in you. But before I can do that, I have to be enrolled. So my intent for me is to continue being enrolled 100%. So my intent for you is that you enroll in yourself 100%. And as we're going through this class, it's so that you become aware of triggers that help you so that you're not enrolled. But it's also that you become aware, it's also so that you become aware of where you're at and how to get where you want to be. But it's also, the intent is so that you know, wow, do I have an intent for today? And am I living it? And if not, then why am I doing what I'm doing? And then the last one is so that you can become the person you need to be so that you can receive the results you want at a quicker pace so that you can step into your greatness. So how many of you want an intent for today? Yeah. How many of you have an intent for today? Woohoo! I love it. Okay, here we go. So before we get going, we're just going to start on our rules. You're going to see this each time I have a slideshow. It's really important because when we have rules, then we set the boundaries for everyone to stay safe. And in this class, especially, we're going to get raw and real, and we're going to get really vulnerable. And then guess what? You're going to see some major up-leveling because we can't unless we get raw and real. So the first rule that we have is to be present. What does that mean? I talked to some of you guys about it in our strategy sessions, and that is basically that you are right here and right now. And I know a lot of us, we can sit there and say, think in our minds, okay, in the future, let's see, what am I going to fix for dinner? What do I have to do? What does my to-do list look like? Or we can think in the past, oh, I wish I wouldn't have said that to my husband. I wish I would have got my to-do list done. So I'm just going to ask you to be right here and right now. And if you do not know how to be present in the moment, I'm going to show you just a really quick way. Like if all of a sudden I'm doing something and then I notice, whoa, my child was just talking to me and I don't even know what they said. So this is really quick, how to get present. Do you guys want to learn this? Raise your hand if you want to learn it. Okay. This is how you do it. So when we breathe in, right? So we're going to take a deep breath in. We have a tendency, what does your diaphragm do? Does it go out or does it go in? I'm going to take you off mute for just a minute so that we can do this. Because this is really, trust me when I say this, you're gonna like this. You're gonna want this.
Hey, Stephanie.
Yes.
I can't find the raise your hand app in here.
So Lillian, on Zoom, there is not a raise your hand. So you have to type in the chat box or I do not know, especially if I can see you.
In the participants, when you click on participants, there's the raise your hand button.
Hold on.
I don't have that.
It's because you're the host.
Right, but don't you think I should see like if they're raising their hand?
Here, I'll hit it. I'll hit it.
Okay, hit it. Gotcha. Yep, you're right.
I don't see on mine. That's weird.
So when I clicked on
I see it. Okay,
participants,
found it. Okay.
okay, great.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
job.
you.
Thank you, Casa.
You're welcome.
Okay, so let's take a deep breath in. What does your diaphragm do? Does it go out or does it go in?
Out.
Yeah. This time, exactly. So what we're going to do, so what happens when you breathe in? What does your diaphragm do? Out or in?
Out.
When you breathe in, when you're
Because she's a voice teacher.
doing out or in?
Yeah, out.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
typically, your chest would go out, not your
Exactly.
diaphragm, is the way
Exactly.
people usually breathe.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But she's trained herself.
Yeah, exactly. So what's going to happen is we're going to train ourselves to do exactly what we just said. So we're going to take a deep breath in, but we're going to push our diaphragm out to the point where you can feel the perineum push out. So it's a little bit, you're going to do it. And if you have a hard time doing this, put your hand on your diaphragm so you can feel it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a breath in, but we're going to push our stomach out. Ready? Here we go. All the way till your perineum you can feel it. Now inhale and push your stomach in. I'm sorry, inhale. Exhale and push your stomach, push your stomach in. So now what I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes and I want you to do that 5 times on your own timing. Okay, I'll mute you now because guess what? You are completely present. And now I'm going to share my screen. Thank you. So that's one thing that's really good. If you notice that you are no longer present with your children or your spouse, you can actually do that. And I love it. Okay, so we've already gone through our intent. So just in case, and we've gone through the rules, we went through being present, I'm sorry. And so we are now present. And sorry, you guys, I clicked the back button and of course, everything goes back. And then it's just manage your communication devices, which of course you guys heard that I didn't do, right? Because my phone went off. So I just turned it off. So manage your communication devices. And the last one is show respect, because not all of us have the same views of life or of even of our core values. And so if someone has a different way of thinking, I would just ask that you show respect and that really that you even take notes and see why they might even think that. Because sooner or later you might have to defend something. So it's always nice to know. So what I would want for you guys, what will you want? You will want a notebook, a pen, because you are going to want to take a journal and an open mind. Awesome. Because you're going to want this. This is amazing. So just to let you know, I know that I'll learn more from you than you will from me. So I have mine too. So I'm ready to go. Okay. So we already have learned Zoom. I'm not even going to worry about that. Thank you again, Casa, for showing us how to raise our hand. So I'm going to ask you to write on your piece of paper right now that your intent. What do you want to get out of this class today, right now? What do you want? The reason why I'm asking you this is because my intent is to answer what you want through this class. But if you don't have an intent, I can't answer it. So I'm going to stop sharing because you guys have this, and I'm just going to, if someone would like to share, and I will unmute. If someone would like to share, I would love to hear what you want to get out of this class. Someone want to share? Oh, hold on, Dina. I said unmute and I didn't do it. Sorry. Go for it. Sorry, Dina.
I want to feel more comfortable and confident in sharing this business and not be in the hunting mode like you described.
I love it. Thank you. Casa, do you want to share?
Yes, I want to learn the skill set to speak more boldly to those that I share with to enroll them, whether it's as customers or as builders.
Love it. Lillian?
Hi, sorry, I'm still learning this button
That's
thing.
okay.
Well, I want to learn everything that I need to learn to become a successful doTERRA wellness advocate. So whatever comes, I know I need because I'm here. So I know you have a lot of things that are going to be, we are going to be able to learn that we can use in our lives and be able to succeed in this business. So my mind is just open for everything that you're sending this way.
I love it. Thank you, Lillian. So what I want out of this class is to, as I am teaching you how to be enrolled 100%, for me to be enrolled 100% too. That's what I want. Okay, let's get going. I'm not going to mute because I think we're fine. If you guys are okay with that, then I don't have to go back.
I'll just mute myself for the little shrills from the tiny person.
Sorry. Thanks, Casa.
You're welcome.
Me too. I will just unmute if I have to speak something.
Okay.
But I will raise my hand first with the little raise your hand little thing, so you know I want to say something.
Not a problem.
Okay.
I love it when you add, so feel free. So thank you for sharing what you guys want to get out of this class. So I just wanted to share with you, because I thought this was really interesting where we're at, especially as a whole. I wanted to share with you some of the findings of my strategy sessions, because there were some things that everybody had. And I thought this was really interesting because I thought, wow, if we all have this and we're all doing this, then the opposition, he really understands us a lot more than we understand him. And so I feel if we understand what's happening in our mind, it will then help us to then get the person, whoever we are talking to, and we want them to be enrolled in their life. It will help us reach out and show them, hey, I know this. I've done it. Let me show you how I got through it. And so these are some of my findings that I found. And these were the ones that are 100% when I asked them, what are the results you wanted? Or why weren't you getting them? And the number one reason that they weren't getting them was procrastination. And I loved this because it says procrastination is like a credit card. It's a lot of fun until you get the bill. So I'm going to ask you, how much is procrastination costing you? Because I notice if my goal is to be making, and my goal is to make $500,000 a month, and I'm not there. So literally procrastination is costing me $500,000. So I'm going to ask you, what's it costing you? And when do we say no more? Are you ready to enroll and be 100% committed so that when you see a sabotaging thought or a trigger that's going to sabotage you, so you are no longer in enrollment of your life 100%, and you start sliding down to procrastinate, are you ready to say no more and to fire the procrastinator? Because I am. I don't want to procrastinate any longer. It's costing me a lot. And the bill, it's time to pay. So the other thing that I found along with procrastination was this: leaving things until the last minute as a way of budgeting your time. Most procrastinators, and I'm going to put this on me, are sort of like perfectionists. As long as they have a lot of time to do a task, they fantasize about doing a perfect job. Leaving it till the last minute is a way of giving oneself permission to do a merely adequate job. 99% of the time, a merely adequate job is all that is needed. How many of you have a list of things to do that you start crossing them off, but you notice the next day you put them on, if they're on the next day's list, and they continue to be on the next day's list? They're the most important things that we have to get done, but we don't do them. By raise of hand, how many of you do that? Yeah. Crazy, isn't it? Yeah. So obviously, the opposition knows exactly what we need. So what I'm going to ask is that throughout this webinar, that you figure out the triggers that all of a sudden you say, because this is one thing that I notice about me. Why play the game if you're going to lose? So one thing that I notice about me, if I don't think I can do it, I don't do it. So, and I notice also, if I'm playing a game and I notice you're going to win, I just give up and quit. Procrastination for me is, if I can't do it perfectly, I'm not even going to play. So I've had to learn, nope, 100% is enrollment in everything I do. And it's the experience that gets me where the results I want, not the outcome, the experience. If anyone asks me, how did you learn to become a master of enrollments? It's from experiencing a million times over, practicing it. So if you want to get this faster, if you want to get your results faster, guess what you have to do? Go through a lot of experiences. And that's what's incredible, because I can't give it to you. Only you can. But we also have to go through the experiences of the negative to the positive. And one of the things that I was choosing not to do is I was choosing not to receive the negative. I was choosing only to receive the positive. Never once did I realize, if I don't receive the negative, I do not want the positive. So literally, it was that perfectionism that was holding me back of procrastinating, and I didn't want it anymore. So I asked myself, why am I'm 53% and I'm receiving 53% results, but yet what's scary, look at some of your results. Didn't you guys like up level majorly? Weren't there some times where you're like, woohoo, look at my results? What's scary is, I think, what happens if I get the other 47? So all of a sudden I was going back to, I'm 5 years old. I did 100% enrollment. Someone criticized me and judged me, and I chose that number. So I get to choose also the other 47%. It's a choice. To be enrolled 100%, it's a choice. Now you just have to be aware of making it and bringing to the table the other 47% and choosing to be all in. How many of you want to be all in? Me too. Me too. So the one thing that I found also in the strategy sessions was, if we're procrastinating, we are not in achievement energy. And the majority of us, we were procrastinating because we were afraid of failure, which is the opposite of achievement energy. And this is something that I found in the last 3 months. When you are in achievement energy, you don't care if you fail. As a matter of fact, when you're in achievement energy, you almost have the feeling of bring it on. Because I know if I fell forward. And so in order for us to stay out of the triggers of procrastinating, you have to stay in achievement. But the only way to do that is by small and simple means. So a lot of times what I was noticing is I didn't even know what achievement energy looked like. But I wanted to. So the first thing that I asked was, what am I putting off? What was I putting off doing? And it could be something like in your home, but I'm just going to ask you that question again. And I just want, whatever the first thing is, I want you to write it down. What are you putting off doing? Right now, in this time and space, what are you putting off doing? And now I want you to commit that before the next time we meet, you will have done that. How many of you want to be in achievement energy? How many of you will commit to walk into achievement energy by doing what you've been putting off, and you'll do it 100%. You'll be enrolled 100%. I love it. So I'm just going to share with you really quickly what my putting off was. My putting off was I never closed on anybody. I grew up, I was a teacher. I've taught for many years, and for some reason, as teachers, guess what we don't do? We do not close. Let me explain to you why. Because this was a major epiphany for me. So as teachers, as moms, and this, since we're all women here, I'm going to go here. In our feminine energy, we do not close. And the reason why we don't is because when we close, we have to receive something. Right? When you ask someone to enroll in their lives, that means you have to receive something. How many of you are incredible givers? How many of you really have a hard time receiving? So guess why we are terrible at closing? Because we don't know how to receive. So in order to be an incredible closer, to enroll yourself into your life and then to ask others to enroll in theirs, you have to learn to be an incredible receiver. So now I'm going to ask you the same thing, only I'm going to switch it. Because I'm sure what you're putting off had nothing to do with you personally. Did any of you guys write down something like, I'm putting off not exercising? Did any of you write down, I'm putting off not spending time for me? Or was everything you were putting off something else to give to somebody else, such as your family? Anybody have that where it was something that they were going to do to give to somebody else? It's like, I'm going to clean my house so that it feels better for my family. What'd you guys have?
Mine was both. I put clean my closet, and my husband and I share the closet, so it's for both of us.
Okay, I love it. There's something in there, Dina, and I'll talk to you about it in just a minute. Yeah. Cass?
Mine was cooking and exercising, really planning out and making our meals for my family, and then taking the time to go exercise.
I love it. So isn't it interesting that your first one was for your family?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And isn't it, so Dina, I'm just going to go here really fast. Because you chose your personal closet, whenever you choose anything that's in your master bedroom, that's basically saying there's a relationship there that you want to be built stronger. And so when you're saying it's like you and your husband, it's interesting that you want to clean that out, because did you notice that you said, well, my husband and I share it, so it's for both of us. Again, we're putting them ahead. And this is one thing that I learned, and this was so hard for me, and I'm going to be honest with you, it still is. If I don't put myself first and enroll in me, I can't do it with anybody else. It starts with me. But as women, for some reason, we have been taught that if we put ourselves first, we're selfish. And that is a lie. When you put yourself first and you enroll in you first, you just received. And now you're a better giver, and now you're ready to receive more. But when we don't, we are just a giver. And you know what happens when all we do is give and give and give? What happens when somebody says something about the house, or somebody says something about the food we made?
We take it personally.
Yeah. And we think they're judging us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's interesting because if we don't come full circle on that give and receive, we can't be enrolled in us. So now I'm going to ask you, what's the first thing that comes into your head when I ask you, what are you putting off to be enrolled in you? What's the one thing that you feel at this time you need to do to be enrolled in you 100%? Kessa, I feel like I know what you're going to say, so I'm going to start with you.
But I'm like, sorry.
I know.
I need to make sure I show up 100% every single morning, including Sundays, starting with me first.
So what does that look like? What would have to change that you're not doing now, but you're going to implement so that you do that?
Yeah. Learning about adrenal fatigue, because I'm in adrenal fatigue phase 3. So mornings are really hard to get going. So going to bed earlier to wake up, at 7 with everyone else. And then vision board, affirmations, journaling, scriptures, a good protein breakfast, and starting with me first every day. And nobody else starts until 9 o'clock. It's my time until 9 o'clock.
I love it.
Is that what you thought I would say?
Pardon?
Is that what you thought I was going to say?
Actually, I thought you were going to say, I'm going to start exercising.
Oh, well, that's
Part of
included
your morning routine. Yeah.
in that morning. I'm sorry. Yes. The exercising and planning out my food for the whole day and prepping it. Yeah. So I probably should get up before 7. I think I need more than 2 hours.
Okay. I love it. Dina, how about you?
Well, that's actually what I was going to say too, is exercise. I do okay, but not great. And probably because of that, because I don't put myself first. I do other things instead of doing that.
Okay, so now, just because, so usually, and this is what's interesting, so about 95% of the time, a woman is going to say exercise. So, but Dina, you hit on something that I would like to just go there. What does it look like when we're 100% enrolled in our exercise?
It's whatever 100% for one person is not 100% for another person.
Absolutely. So what does it look like for you to be 100% enrolled in you? And now you're saying, I'm going to exercise, because I know if I'm going to be enrolled, the first thing I'm going to do is exercise. What does that look like?
I'm going to do at least 3 days a week, and more is fine, but at least 3, and at least 20 minutes when I do, at least 20-minute sessions.
Love it. What about you, Kessa?
Every single time I talk, she jumps. I need to branch into the world of yoga. And so I want to do that every other morning, and then the off morning going and getting on the bike.
Love it.
For cardio.
I love it. If I could choose, if I said anything, it would be yoga. So yeah. I do yoga every day. Yeah. And then I'll do cardio every once in a while, but I don't feel like I need the cardio, but I definitely need the yoga. Amazing.
Good to know.
So let me share with you something about the give and receive cycle. This is why Satan, and I'm going to go there, and a lot of people, well, I better be careful. I better not do that. This is why the opposition goes so hard against us. So what happens is when we're exercising is a form of play. So in the give and receive cycle, a lot of times when we've given and now it's time to receive, there's a little part in there that we forget. And that part is sometimes we have to heal in order for us to give again. So what happens is when we're receiving, and of course receiving, as we know, is exercising, because that's what we just said. Hey, wait a minute. What's the first thing that I need in order to be enrolled? Exercise. This is why. When we exercise, it actually helps us come into full force where we can be healed of the negative emotions so that it, and remember, when we're exercising, a lot of times, what do we say? Oh, the endorphins have kicked in and I feel good. Well, the reason why we feel good is because we're healing. We've come in full force. So of course, the opposition, he does not want us to be healed, because if we're healed, then we can move mountains. So what he wants is for us to get busy in procrastination mode, not to be enrolled 100%, so that we have nothing to give. And guess what? When we're not receiving that, we're not 100% enrolled, that's why we take everything personal, because we're not healed. So you're going to have to trust me when I tell you, when my husband would talk to me, everything he would say, I would take personal. And to the point where he would say, I don't know what to say to you because everything I say, you take personal. And I would say something like this: well, learn my language. Learn how you need to talk to me. And then I wouldn't take it personal. And guess what I found out for doing this last 3 months? He didn't have to change his language. Because once I was enrolled in me 100%, and exercise became my number one thing, and also dance, because dance was my number one thing that I needed to do, and I began to heal, our relationship became incredible. When he would talk to me, I would say things like this. And after 20 years of marriage, I never said this, but I did. When he was talking to me, I said, thanks for your support. I'm going to do better. He about fell backwards. He said, now why? In the 20 years we've been married, did I said the same thing to you, and you took it critically, but today you thanked me. What's the difference? And I didn't know. And I said, I don't know. That's really weird. And that's when I started asking about the give and receive cycle. What was it? And what was I doing now that I wasn't doing before? And why, when he was talking to me, did I look at it and say, thank you for that support? And this is what our higher power told me. So as I'm writing this letter and I'm asking him this question, he said, it's easy. Touch the paper once. I was like, what? He said, if you want to be an achievement energy, touch the paper once. And so I started looking at my life, and I started looking at the patterns. And it was just so happened that I was looking, because I looked down and there was a load of laundry that I had started that morning. I had put in the dryer, and then I had let it sit for a couple of days. Because now I'm doing another load of laundry and I have to put it in the dryer. So I had to take it out. I put it in the basket, and it's sitting there by me. And I thought, I wonder what would happen if, instead of touching the basket 3 times or 4 times and letting it sit, I wonder what would happen if I just touched it once. And so I started small, and I said, I'm going to do this in everything I do. So what happened is I touched the basket, went upstairs, folded it, put it away, took the basket, brought it back down, and I was like, whoa, this is some cool achievement energy. I started something and I finished it. And I noticed never once did I have a trigger of going into procrastination mode. And that has been everything that I do. So now, when our higher power says, hey, Steph, you need to call this person, guess what I do? I touch the paper once and I call. And every single time I've done it, that person will say something like this: I've been waiting for your call. I've wanted to ask you about the business. And I've had the opportunity to enroll by touching the paper once. But it began with enrolling in me. So every morning, and Casa, I loved what you said about that's my time. I've enrolled in my time. And I've said from 3:30 in the morning until 9 o'clock, that's my time. So I enrolled in me first. And now I'm giving and I'm receiving, and I'm going to ask for all that he has. But I can't unless I continually ask for more. And I can't ask for more unless I'm healing first. So for me, this was the biggest epiphany ever. And I loved it. Okay, sorry, I was totally on a soapbox. So In order for us to master the art of enrollment, we have to get crystal clear on what we want. Because a lot of times we don't know what we want. So sometime today, or even right now, get crystal clear on what you want. Find out what you want. And there's ways that you can do it. And one of the things, since we're going into doTERRA, is to ask, what are the characteristics do you want in your CEO? Write them down. And I mean, take some time. Don't write 3 or 4. Really go deep. What do I want? And then go back to that list and ask, who do I have to become in order to match the characteristics of my CEOs? This was such an amazing thing for me. It was like, who do I have to become? And then I took my vision board. And if you don't know what a vision board is, please let me know and I'll send you some stuff so you can know what a vision board is. But I took my vision board, I took everything down off my vision board, and I said to my higher power, all right, you show me who I have to become, and you show me the things I have to do in order to become that person, so that I can have those incredible CEOs come into my space and they want what I have. And so I took my vision board, and that is my vision board. And I've got to tell you, it's amazing. I love my vision board. I've liked it. I've liked it. I've never loved it. But my vision board is so inspiring in the mornings and the night when I look at it and I'm like, yes, because who do you think, when you get to take everything down, what do you think is going to be behind that? Who did you become? You have to get crystal clear on what you want. Because if you want to become like him, it has to be crystal clear on your vision board. So I knew what I wanted. I just didn't know how to get there. So ask and then receive it. Because it's there. It's so there. So I also asked, who do I have to become in order to live my ideal lifestyle? And what I did is I wrote down my ideal lifestyle. And I was crystal clear on what I wanted my ideal lifestyle to look like. And then I asked my higher power, who do I have to become to have this? And boy, did he tell me. And for me, this was very humbling because I had to let go of my ego and I had to be willing to receive, even when it meant there were some things I had to change, and not just a little, a lot. But I wanted it more than I wanted to stay in stagnation mode. And I loved the achievement, so I was willing to do whatever it took. I was willing to go into the bottom of the pit if that's what it took for me to live that ideal lifestyle. So really, I'm just going to quickly go over our class details because this is where we get to have fun. So I've already asked you some questions. I'd love for you to get crystal clear on what you want. Get crystal clear on your CEOs, because when you know the characteristics you want in your CEOs and you know the characteristics that you're missing, then that's what you need to be working on your vision board. Any questions about that? I have a question for you. Does anyone want me to do like a 5-minute class on how I put my vision board together, on what my higher power showed me on vision boarding? Does anyone want that? Okay.
Sure.
I'll post just a bonus class on it. It's amazing. It really is. And when I say that, right, it was amazing for me, right? Because he literally showed me how to do it. So he showed me my vision board and he showed me how I could become like him. My vision board, which was amazing. Okay, Lillian has her hand raised. This is awesome because I see it. Yes, Lillian, go for it. You are muted, Lillian, so unmute yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's
That's
just
okay.
I have to put the back button and it's just a big confusion. No, I was raising my hand agreeing with you. I
Oh,
really want to
perfect.
share
Thank
with
you.
us a vision board. I would love to get ideas from you for that.
Okay. So when I'm done with this class, I'll make a quick video. It'll be like 3 to 5 minutes. It doesn't need to be any longer. And I don't even want to go 5 minutes. It'll be less than 3 minutes. So you can look at it. And then if you have any questions, you can ask me. So remember, this is your key on this whole class. Ask and you shall receive. But if you don't ask, sometimes you can be stuck. Since we are stinky receivers, sometimes we don't ask. So I'm just telling you, ask so that you can receive. So this is what our class details. So the enrollment process, when we go through all this, the reason why we go through this is so that we can have confidence in any situation we're in. Because when you have confidence, it's similar to what Casa said. She wants to boldly go and say, this is what you need. And to be able to ask questions so that they can be enrolling as she's asking the questions. So I don't know if you guys notice, and I want you to start noticing, how many times did I ask you guys to raise your hands? So throughout this video, this webinar, I was enrolling you. So now, after this webinar, you can go back and you can listen to this webinar again, or from this day forward, start looking and listening to the questions I'm asking when I'm asking you to raise your hand. Start writing them down, because these are the questions, and these questions don't have to be exact, right? It can be similar to what I'm asking. These will be the questions you find yourself asking to enroll other people. And if you can already see them and hear them and know them and be aware, then you're going to become a great enrollment. You're going to master it a lot quicker than I did. So what's happening is we're just missing the experience of becoming an incredible master enroller. And I told you guys some of this yesterday, and I'm going to go here. We already know how to be enrolled, because we were enrolled to come here onto this earth. Someone said to us, do you want this plan? Or do you want this one? We were enrolled. So the master enroller has already enrolled us. We already know how to do it. All we're doing is we're being aware and being reminded. Because here on this earth, we will be enrolling ourselves and others forever and ever. And when you get to be a master of it, the most important person that you'll ever enroll besides yourself are your children. So my 17-year-old, when he comes up and he asks a question, instead of answering the questions, I ask him questions and I re-enroll him. And I'm going to tell you, that's the sweetest moment when I say, I know what it's like to become the CEO I want. I know what it's like. Because when you take off that CEO, really the person you want is the person you want to become. And the person you want to become is the person who enrolled you in the first place. That's what it's about. We're just missing the experiences that get us there. And so we're going to give you those experiences by doing strategy sessions and by doing accountability calls. So this is what it looks like. So your strategy session, it'll be, and I will have you guys in groups of 3 to 4, and you will have your group by Monday. So I apologize, I have strategy sessions on Saturday. So either Saturday night, it'll be finished, or Monday morning. But it'll look like this. You'll be in a group of 3 to 4 people. So just like us, right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to practice role playing. And we're going to practice the enrollment session. So it could look like something like, Casa, it's so great to see you. How are you? The one thing I don't want you to do, though, is I don't want you to pretend something. You know how like you're role playing and you go, pretend like you're Charlie Brown and I'll be Linus. No, no, no. I want you to be real and raw, because when you're giving support and feedback back to that person, they need to know that how you felt. And if you're pretending to be someone, then you can pretend feelings. And I don't want that. I want you to say something like this. Like if we get done and I say, Kessa, how did you feel? Did I enroll you? I want you to be able to say, no. As a matter of fact, I felt like you were trying to hunt me. I felt like you weren't real. And then I can say, well, talk to me about that. How come you felt that way? And then I want Kessa to be real and say, well, this is how I felt when you asked me this. Maybe you should ask this instead. And then to try it again. Well, let's try it again. So this strategy sessions that we do together, this is where it's safe. This is where you want to bomb, right? You want to be bad. You want the experiences of having bad so you can be good when it really matters. And you have to go through the experience of failing and falling on your face in order for you to know what you're supposed to do. So you want these experiences and you want to practice. So if you want to master the enrollment process and you want the results of your goals, you want them to go 10 times faster, how many times do you think you need to practice? How many experiences do you think you need in order to master it? That's up to you to decide. But if I were you, I would ask myself that question, and whatever number popped up, I would do a little bit more. It's the enrollment process. When are you going to be enrolled? Does anyone have any questions on strategy sessions? Is anyone a little nervous?
Did you see Lillian's question?
Oh, I didn't. Lillian, do you have a question on the strategy sessions? I think it's because I didn't pop her name down.
She said, will the strategy sessions be on Zoom with you?
Okay, so the strategy sessions are you're in a group of 3 to 4 people, okay? And you're going to be practicing with one another. I will not be part of that group unless you ask. So it could be that your group is really good, right? I mean, yeah, could be you go, whoa, you guys, we have got some experience here. And so from that, let's see if we can enroll let's see if you can enroll me. And then if you notice, like, because let me come back. So you're going to be in that group for a week, and then you're going to get you'll get a new group. And then the following week, you're going to get a new group. And then after the 3rd week, you are going to know, and this is going to be easy now. And you're going to practice on your family. Trust me when I say this, you will. You'll practice on your husband, you'll practice on your children, you'll practice on your grandchildren, and you'll do it without even noticing. Like all of a sudden you'll be like, oh my gosh, I just enrolled him. And you won't even notice because it's so second nature for us. So all of a sudden when you get to that point, what will happen is then, and that's probably the 3rd week, then we will ask you, instead of being in a group, we'll say, now we want you to find 5 people to hold strategy sessions with. So it might look something like this. Hey, best friend, I'm in this class and I have to have a strategy session with a person and enroll them into their life. I was wondering if I could practice on you. Sure. And then you're going to practice on them. And then afterwards you're going to say, so, and just let me know, I'll let you know something. You already know if you enrolled them, right? How do you know if you enrolled them? What are they going to do? How do you know? Because when you enroll them, they will take an action step. They'll ask for an experience. They'll say something like this. Because when we enroll them, right? So it might look something like this. So, hey, best friend, I'm doing this strategy session. I'm doing a practice. I was wondering if I could practice on you. Yeah. Okay. How are you? I'm great. Oh my gosh. Well, what's going on? So you're talking, and then maybe she says something like this. Yeah, my grandson, he's really struggling right now. He's struggling finding his way. And that you're listening and you're being present, so you're right there with her. And you might say something like this. Would you like to know how you could enroll him in his life? Now the action that we would take to see, right, would be the raise of hand. So did you notice when I was raising my hand, you were following? So I knew I was enrolling you because you were taking an action. So she might say something like this. Yeah. And then you might ask another question. What would it mean if you could enroll your grandson into his own life? What would that look like? Well, it would be awesome because then he could grow and he could really understand who he is. Maybe you ask a question like this. Well, best friend, do you want to know who you are? Yeah. You might ask the other question. Who are you? And most people don't know. And then you could ask, what would it mean to you to know who you are? And as she's telling, you're listening. And then you might say something like this. Could we meet so I could tell you who you are? And I could explain to you how I'm enrolled in my life and how you could be enrolled in yours? Is that something you'd like to do? And usually I always ask with a scale. On a scale from 1 to 10, what would it mean for me to share with you how to be enrolled in your life? And when they say a 10, right, now you're going to commit them to something. Well, could we meet tomorrow for lunch and I could share this with you? Yeah. You'll notice that we do this all the time. But for me, I'm just going to use me. For me, I never closed because then I would have to receive something. And I didn't want to receive anything because I didn't feel I was good enough to receive something. Or I didn't feel worthy enough to receive something. And so literally what happened is when I wasn't a good receiver, really what I was saying was everything you did for everyone here on this earth, everything my higher power did here on this earth, it was for everybody but for me. And so I noticed that when I don't receive, I'm really saying I'm not good enough for that. And I didn't want that anymore. I didn't understand it, and I wanted to understand what he did for me. But in order for me to receive it, I had to know who I was. So in enrollment strategy sessions, they don't have to be about doTERRA. Could I have taken it to doTERRA? Yeah, easy, right? She could have said, I'm worried about my grandson. And I could have said, well, what's going on with him? She could have said, he doesn't know who he is. I could have said, well, if there was a way that I could show you that that could help him break through that so he could know who he was, would you be interested? And I could have gone with the oils, right? So there's lots of different ways that you can go there. What happens is we don't live in the present. And the reason why we don't live in the present is because we're not enrolled 100%. So 53% of what the people say to me, I hear. The other 53%, I'm disengaged. I'm either thinking about what I'm doing in the future or I'm living in the past. So unless something hits me over the head, I'm not there. And the majority of the time, I'll be honest with you, the hitting me over the head is when someone would say something like this. Yeah, so aren't you enrolled in doTERRA? So I would like to know about that. Where if I would have listened the whole entire time before, I would have noticed that they were coming into my space and they always wanted me to offer them something, but I never did. So I look at it like this. When you're enrolled 100% of the time, it's as if you have this beautiful buffet of food. And when you're enrolled in 100% of the time, you see how many people are hungry. And you offer it to them. And you sit down and you serve it to them. But when we're not enrolled 100% of the time, we have this buffet still out there. But we say things like this: they wouldn't want it. They don't have enough money. They can't afford my food. Or, I made it. They probably are not going to eat it. It's not that good. You notice what we do. We never offer it because we're afraid they might receive it. So now we're learning, hey, I know you're hungry. How do I know you're hungry? I'm going to ask you questions. I have this beautiful buffet of food right here. How many of you are hungry? How many of you would like to learn how to get this buffet? And then we offer it to them. Exactly. We offer it to them. Yeah. So the strategy session help us practice to gain the experience so that we recognize we've got this whole big buffet in front of us and there are a lot of people starving. How many of you know people right now who are starving? Yeah. And you know what's scary? How many of you know more than just one? Yeah. Yeah, it's never just one. Exactly. So it's up to us right now to practice, to get the experience so we can go and offer the buffet so people can come and say, hey, are you hungry? And when they say yes, this is what I have. Asking the questions so that we know exactly what they want, right? Because you might have to say something like this. Are you gluten intolerant? Oh, come over here. Oh, are you lactose intolerant? Oh, come over here. It's even better over here. Oh, you're a vegetarian? No problem. Got it over here too. But until we ask the questions, we don't know what they want. And if we don't know what we want, how can we ask them what they want? We never will. It's the same thing with being enrolled. If you're not enrolled, you cannot ask somebody else to be enrolled. I could ask somebody to be enrolled at 53% because that was my number. But that was it. And you know what's scary? Think how committed they are, right? Oh, I'll be half committed. I don't want somebody that's half committed. I want someone who's full. So the accountability calls. The reason why I'm talking about the accountability calls is because sometimes people have a bad taste in their mouth with accountability calls, like me, I did, because I didn't understand what they were for. So accountability calls, this is what they're for. It's basically to stretch you, to have you have at a higher level of accountability. But it's also to call you on the carpet when you're not doing it. And it's also to help you grow. So basically, this is what it looks like. There'll be a maximum of 5 people. And it will never take longer than 5 to 7 minutes. And if it does take longer than that, then you're not doing something we'll have to talk about it. So what it is it looks like this. Hi, this is Stephanie McGuire. This is my accountability. My action steps for yesterday was I was going to practice the strategy session on 5 new people. And I just want to let you know, I totally did it and I totally aced it. And my declaration is, I am the master of enrollments. And then they go to the next person. Now, this is how it looks too. If you say, and I didn't do my action steps. Someone on your call, and we switch this, will be what we call a coach. That coach will then ask, why didn't you? They will then tell them why they didn't. Yeah, right? It'll be, my son I got called because my son was sick at the school and I needed to go pick him up. Oh, awesome. You were totally enrolled in your life 100%. You just didn't get to choose what you got to do at that moment. So what's your action step going to be today? And they get to say what their action step is going to be today. Now, if it's a consistent where they're not doing their action steps, or if it's always the same, and you guys know what I'm talking about, right? I'm going to talk to one person today, right? It's like, so then you might ask them, is that stretching yourself? So what we're doing is we're stretching so that we can be held at a higher level of accountability so that we can get to our goals faster. So my accountability partner, and I've had one for a long time, and there's 3 of us, And so there's another lady and a guy, and they do not ever let me stay comfortable. If I say I'm gonna hold 5 strategy sessions, someone will call me on the carpet and say, why not 7? So I'll do 7. The next time when I say I got it, then when I say 7 strategy sessions, they'll say, why not 10? So I love it because literally I have grown so quickly because of it. So that's what accountability calls are. Any questions on accountability calls? This is so going over, 17 minutes over. I am so sorry. So if you want to change your results faster, 10 times faster, gain the experience through role play and strategy sessions. So the question was, am I going to be doing role play and strategy sessions? Only if you ask. If you want me to, I'll definitely do it. But I'll only do it if you ask. Sometimes people feel awkward, you know, but I'll tell you something. If you do, we'll all grow. So remember, if you...
So Stephanie, I think it was asked if those strategy sessions would be on Zoom. Is that how they'll be?
So that's a great question. So thank you for asking, and thank you for reminding me that Lillian asked that question. That's going to be up to you guys. So as a group, you guys will decide how you want to do that. You can do Zoom. Zoom is available. You can do Zoom. You can do calls, however you want to do it, whichever way is easiest for you. I'll give you this much. If I were going to do it, I would definitely do Zoom because I would want to see body language. Because you'll up level a lot quicker with body language than just talking. So I know, Cass, I put you on. So if you are not part of the doTERRA team of epicness, I forgot the ness on there, let me know and I will put you on there. And this is such a fun video, and I apologize because I took up so much time that we don't get to watch it. I will send this link to you because this really shows you what our strategy sessions and what our accountability calls, what will happen. So I'll send this link to you. It's amazing. Watch it. I'll send it to you right after here. Watch it because that's really what we want to do. And don't forget, ask. Ask and you shall receive. And so what I'm asking is through the week and you're doing things come up, start asking questions. Because I promise you, if you do, you will up level so much quicker. When I meet with my mentor, I meet with him once a week and I just have a half an hour. I am not kidding you when I tell you this. My half an hour is like this. So I noticed this. What about this? And he tells me, love it. So I noticed this. What about this? And he tells me, boom. But if I do not ask, he doesn't tell me. Because if I don't ask, he doesn't think I'm ready to receive. So ask. And that was something that was very hard for me. And now I think I drive him nuts because I'm always asking. But when I asked him, he said, I love it. Because it tells me that you're 100% enrolled. It tells me that you want to increase and to be up leveling. So ask questions. Ask, ask, ask. So as you're going and you're doing different things and something pops in your mind, or there's a role play and you didn't know how to resolve a concern or how to get there, ask. So you can receive faster. Don't be like me. Ask. Any questions on any of that? Okay, so just to recap really fast, Saturday you're going to get your group. So please get in contact with them and then decide how you're going to do strategy sessions. And then on your accountability calls, then decide what time you're going to do, because that will be up to you guys. So if you're an early morning person, and actually I think what we've decided to do is we'll put on Facebook where you're going to put on times when you could do it. And that's how we were going to do it. Does that make sense? So you'll click on the time that fits you, and then we'll put you in that group. So any questions? No? Perfect.
Just real quick, is that on your Facebook, Stephanie?
The questionnaire, it will be
on that information for the strategy sessions.
It'll be on the doTERRA team of Epic. You're on.
Okay.
I made sure everybody was on. Casa, you're on. Thank you for letting me know you weren't. So I know everyone here is on. Okay.
Stephanie,
Yes, Lillian.
Okay, I have a question for you about the strategy sessions.
Uh-huh.
Could you record mini videos of examples of strategy sessions?
Sure.
Maybe you and your husband, doing these mini strategy sessions and put on Facebook so we can have ideas on how to do them to feel more comfortable in doing.
Sure.
Yeah, I love that idea. That's a good one, Lillian.
So
Oh, thank
Lillian,
you.
I have a question for you guys. So we actually did some, but we started off with what not to do, and they're funny. I mean, they are funny. Do you guys want those, or you just want the ones what to do?
Everything.
Okay.
Both.
The reason why we did the ones what not to do is because it's just funny to break the ice, right? And
Uh-huh.
how many of us, when we're not present, right? So the one that we did, it's really funny. So I was the one doing the strategy session, right? So I'm like, hi, best friend, how are you doing? And as she's telling me about how bad her day is, I'm literally clicking, and you can see it. I'm clicking on Facebook, and I'm not there, right? And then when there's silence, I said, that is so wonderful. Oh my goodness. And so, but we do that. We do it. So anyway, so we just did some that, what not to do.
Yes, send those and also the ones on what to do.
Yeah.
So if you can start with the what to do first. So
I'll do the what to do's, and then I'll post the what not to do just for fun. So you guys.
Yes.
Yeah,
That'll help a lot.
absolutely. Yeah. Okay. So these will not be longer than 3 minutes, because your strategy sessions really shouldn't be. And now that being said, right, we're doing the closing part of it, right? So you can be talking, but even then, if you already know your intent, you know what, Lillian, I'm going to stop talking right now, trying to explain it. I know exactly what, I have it in my mind what we need to do. Yes, I'll do that for you. Absolutely. Great idea.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions?
Are you going to be having other webinars part of this series, or this is the only one?
Nope, every Thursday for 6 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So this is just our first one.
Every Thursday, same time.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Any other questions? No? So really quickly, the video that we have is 5 minutes. Do you guys have 5 minutes to watch?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to put it on really fast. This is so good. I kid you not. It is just so good. So I'm going to set it up really fast.
What the circle is.
This is,
Say your grandmother.
It's the chaos of the web made
I don't remember the name. Something Giant. It's a Christian movie.
Paul, late John.
This is not it. Sorry, this is a commercial.
Late Mario.
Needs
Give me
of
just 1 minute.
society or needs
But this
of
is,
the individual.
what's happening is they're a football team, and they're going to go up against the
Unfulfilled potential.
number one football team. And so this is what happens.
I am a believer in the perfectibility of human beings.
Sorry, you guys. It doesn't let me switch it.
We are our best selves.
But look, there's the girl from,
At the circle, there is a
Harry
we cannot
where? Harry Potter.
any disease
Yeah.
and hunger.
If you want to send us the link, that would be great too.
Do I what?
We
Send the link.
realize our potential. Circlers,
Get in touch.
like to share.
Skip that. So I apologize. I couldn't see that. Okay, here it is.
So, Coach, how strong is Westview this year? A lot stronger than we are. You already written Friday night down as a loss, bro? Well, not if I know we could beat them. Come here, bro. You too, Jeremy. What, am I in trouble now? Not yet. I want to see you do the death crawl again, except I want to see your absolute best. What, you only go to the 30? I think you go to the 50. I can go to the 50 if nobody's on my back. I think you can do it with Jeremy on your back. But even if you can, I want you to promise me you're going to do your best.
Do we have this
All right?
one?
Your best.
Can you hear this?
Okay. You going to give me your best?
Barely.
I'm going to give you my best.
Hold on. Let me see if I can, because I can barely hear it too.
Do you want to send the link?
Give me just a minute, and then I'll send it to you too. But I just want to see if we can, because it's so good. Yeah, that's as high as it's going to go.
One more thing. I want you to do a blindfold. Why? I want you giving up at a certain point when you can go further. Get down. Jeremy, get on his back. tight hold, Jeremy. All right. Let's go, Brock. Keep your knees off the ground, just your hands and feet. There you go. A little bit left. There you go. Show me good effort. That way, Brock. Keep coming. There you go. It's a good start. A little bit left. A little bit left. There you go, Brock. Good strength. That's it, Brock. That's it. 20 yet? Forget the 20. You give me your best. You keep going. That's it. No, don't stop, Brock. You got more in you than that. Hey, Doug. Just rest a second. You got to keep moving. Let's keep moving. Let's go. Don't quit till you got nothing left. There you go. Keep moving. Keep moving. Keep moving, Brock. That's it. You keep driving. Keep your knees off the ground. Keep driving it. Very best. Your very best. Your very best. Keep moving, Brock. That's it. That's it. That's it. Keep going. Don't quit on it. Keep going. Keep driving it. Keep your knees off the ground. That's it. Your very best. Don't quit on it. Your very best. Keep driving. Keep driving. There you go. There you go. That's it. You keep driving. Keep your knees off the ground. Keep driving it. Don't quit till you got nothing left. Keep moving, Brock. That's it. That's it. That's it. Keep going. I want everything you got. Come on, keep going. It hurts. Don't quit on me. Your very best. Keep driving. Keep driving. There you go. There you go.
He's heavy.
I know he said it.
I'm out of strength.
Then you negotiate with your body to find more strength, but don't you give up on me, Brock. You keep going. You hear me? You keep going. You're doing good. You keep going. You not quit on me. You keep going. It hurt. I know it hurt. You keep going. You keep going. It's all hard from here. 30 more steps. You keep going, Brock. Come on. Keep going. Burn. And let it burn. It's all hard. You keep going, Brock. Come on. Come on. Keep going. You promised me your best. Your best. Don't stop. Keep going. It's not too hard. You keep going. Come on, Brock. Give me more. Give me more. Keep going. 20 more steps. 20 more. Keep going, Brock. Give me your best. Don't quit. No. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Don't quit. Don't quit. Don't quit. Brock Kelly, you don't quit. Keep going. Keep going. No, Brock Kelly, you don't quit on me. No, you keep going. You keep going. No, Brock. 10 more steps. 10 more. 10 more. 10 more. Keep going. Don't quit. Give me more. You can. You can. 5 more. 5 more. Come on, Brock. Come on. Don't quit. Don't quit. Come on, Brock. 1 more. Look up, Brock. You're in the end zone. Brock, you are the most influential player on this team. If you walk around defeated, so will they. Don't tell me you can't get more than what I've been seeing. You just carried a 140-pound man across this whole field with your arms. Brock, I need you. God's gifted you with the ability of leadership. Don't waste it. Coach, can I count on you? Yes. Coach? What is it, Jeremy? I wear 160. All right. Who next?
Thanks for letting me share that with you. I love that video. And it just, it's the epitome of, seriously, of what we are up against and what we can do. And we have been given leadership skills. And one of our leadership skills is to master the enrollment process, because there are so many people out there that need it. And
Stephanie,
yes,
I couldn't understand the stuff that they said, but I'm gonna watch the video because I couldn't. There was too much noise.
that's okay. I'll post the video. I'll post
Yes.
it. So good.
Yes.
Because it really just shows what we can do. And not only that, but it shows what our example of 100%, that he never gave up. Even when he wanted to. He knew his purpose was so much more. And that's what we have to do. We have to understand our purpose. We have to understand that that's what he wants from us, is 100%. And we know how to get there. All right, ladies, love you. So sorry I took so much time. I promise I won't do it again. I will honor time. So love you. Have an incredible evening or incredible day. And write about how you're going to be 100%. I would love to hear it. Put it on our Facebook page. Have a
Thank
good
you,
day.
Stephanie.
Bye.
Yeah.